to or agree to being called that name, Your Honor.
All right, the record should reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks.
Exactly. Now, let me say this. Now, he just said that he does not agree to being called that name. Now, what I like about Judge Darrell is the fact that, do you notice that she's still referring to him as Darrell Brooks? The individual, no, is Darrell Brooks. So despite the BS that he talking, I mean, to me, it doesn't even make sense. Because listen, when Darrell was caught, or should I say when he was apprehended at Daniel Ryder's house, and you know what? Thank God. Come on, can we give Daniel Ryder a hand? Thank you, Daniel. Like Daniel Ryder basically inadvertently helped the police locate Darrell. Because he didn't have a clue. He wasn't even at the parade. He was just being this nice guy. And by the way, Daniel Ryder, I hope this is a lesson to you. You can't be nice to everybody. And I'm glad that you didn't open the door to let him back in. When Darrell alleged that about his ID, I'm glad that your senses told you not to let him back in. Because that was the beginning, basically, of the end of Darrell Brooks's future crimes. All right, so let's get back into what I'm saying. Now, here's my point. Darrell Brooks, when he was apprehended by authorities, let me ask the audience a question. Who did he refer to himself as? Didn't he say his name was Darrell? Didn't he say his name was Darrell Brooks? So if he said his name is Darrell Brooks, then why is he appearing as somebody else? Come on. All right, let's get back into this.
Is appearing in person in custody. He is also in civilian or street clothing, in a suit and tie,
Yes, he
also
is.
wearing a mask. Mr. Brooks, I know today you're also not wearing headsets. I just want to make a record. Yesterday,
Get that for the
they
record.
were offered to you, even charged. The different charging unit was
Get that for the record.
provided. I did not see you wearing the headset at any point in time. And from my perspective, given your either legal arguments made, comments to the court, or questioning of witnesses that you were able to hear, but I just feel it important, given that you raised that issue, to put that on the record.
Get it all
I
on the
do
record.
want to address the case law that was filed by Mr. Brooks. I have a question, sir, because you had indicated there was this United States v. Lopez. I had looked
You know
up
what?
a
Hold
case.
on. I gotta cut off. Let me just interject here. If I can just jump in. Listen, Darrell Brooks is a sovereign citizen, right? Right? Sovereign citizen, right? Which means that they don't abide by American law. Correct? So if they don't abide by American law, then why is he citing case law? Why did he bring up a case law? Watch this. Why did he bring up his Fifth Amendment? If you are a sovereign citizen and you don't abide by the law, then why are you arguing constitutional? Why are you talking about your constitutional rights? And let me say this, and I don't mean to go off. I know y'all like my commentary, but listen, I speak facts. I speak logic. I speak common sense. And so here's my point. Judge Darrell could have easily debunked him by saying, well, why are you arguing about your rights when you disregard rights? Because you're a sovereign citizen. And let me say this. I believe that every sovereign citizen, those of you that consider yourself a sovereign citizen should get the hell out of our country. Get out of America. If you can't obey law, if you cannot obey American law, then you need to get up out of here. Amen. They used to tell us years ago, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. What am I saying? If you cannot obey American law, guess what? Get up out of here. Get up out of here. Otherwise, that would be considered oxymoronic. That's oxymoronic to suggest that you are a sovereign citizen. But then you want to turn around and talk about your Fifth Amendment rights. How you going to argue rights if you are a sovereign citizen? So that gets debunked right there. All right, come on. Let's get into this.
I don't know if it's
Let's
the
get into
one
this. Come on,
that
y'all.
you
Let's
were
get into
referring
this.
to. I asked you if it was from 1995. You
Watch
thought
this.
it was. Have
Watch
you
this.
been able?
Darrell Brooks always said this needs to be addressed. Well, guess what? This needs to be addressed. The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy needs to be addressed. Just like he brought a Bible into the courtroom. Well, that's hypocrisy. Because these homicides needs to be addressed. Ooh, you know what? Let me get out of here. Come on. Let's get into it.
Not, but I also cited Hagen's versus Levine as
You don't
well.
need to be citing
415
nothing
U.S.
as a sovereign citizen.
533, or I think you may have
I was
corrected
able
that.
to find Higgins versus Levine and Malo versus United States. I also found a case that is captioned United States versus
You know what? Can I say something? Listen, and I love Judge Darrell. And I understand why she was doing that, but in theory, theoretically, she didn't have to do this. She's not counsel. She's not counsel. She's an umpire. She's a referee. That's just like if you was watching a wrestling match. Is the referee telling Hulk Hogan how to do a clothesline? Is a referee telling a wrestler how to do a sleeper? No, the job of the referee is to keep order in that ring, not to be citing stuff. And so, what am I saying? Judge Darrell did not have to go over this with him. And how dare him say that he was treated unfairly? Oh, you didn't hear me. Y'all ain't, I need an audience that's going to talk back to me. Come on, y'all. Y'all didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. She was not obligated to be citing no case law. Now, some people might argue that and say, well, this is just for the record. Well, guess what? It wasn't obligated for the record because she's not counsel. Watch this, just like he argued and told her, you're not supposed to be practicing law from the bench. Well, if that's the case, then she don't have to go over this with you then. If she's an umpire, if she's a referee, and so don't you dare. Don't you dare say that you were treated unfairly. This judge, watch this, even the prosecution. And that, and the prosecution usually don't help the defendant, do they? You don't let me. And what prosecutor ever helped the defendant? That's how you know the prosecution had this in the bag. They said he's already done. Well, let me just help him a little bit. He's inevitably finished. But let me lend a helping hand. All right, let's get back into this.
Has at 514 US 549. That's a case from,
She's just wasting her
it was
time doing
decided
this.
in 1995. It had to do with
Now watch this. The reason why I said she's wasting her time doing this, because he's going to find some way to try to debate. If you notice, watch this. Even when Judge Darrell would make a finding or make a ruling, he would try to find some way to try to combat that or try to challenge that or to impugn. And so this was really a waste of time. This was nothing more than stall and delay. Why do you think he wanted to be in? Why do you think he wanted to be in? What is that called when the judge put contempt? Contempt. So that way that can further delay the trial. Listen, watch this. And this is why I believe that Judge Darrell did everything accordingly. She did everything by the book, not only for the purpose of a non-appeal, but I think she did this in favor of those suffering those suffering families of those victims. Because you got to remember, this happened a year before he was ever convicted. And so she didn't want to further delay by putting him in contempt, even though she had that option. But she said, no, 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 no. We need to nip this in the bud. We need to nip this in the bud and to bring closure. To bring closure. These families have suffered enough. They have suffered enough. Let's get back into this.
the, in part,
It was time to put him away.
with the,
And you know what? He should have been put away a long time ago. Hold on, y'all. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. All right. But let me say this. He should have been put away a long time ago. And you know what? I blame the justice system. I blame the justice system. Because here's the point. First of all, how in the world was he allowed out on bail when there was an active warrant in Nevada? Come on. What is wrong with our justice system? This animal, this animal should have never been allowed on the streets, given his multiplicity of criminal behavior. Should have never been allowed out on the street. That whole family, his mother, I said this before, Dawn Brooks, no, Dawn Woods. She needs to be investigated. I'll keep saying that because it's true. For abetting, she was actually trying to help him. Watch this. Let me tell you how she helped him. Guess what? She helped him with the bail money. That's how he got out to commit those crimes. That was abetting. She aided this animal out of a cage. She helped him out of a cage. And he gets out and he targets and kills all these innocent these people at a parade. That is insanity. And then I don't and you know what, and I don't understand. They say his mother was afraid of him. Well, if she was afraid of him, then why would she take a key and unlock the cage to let the animal out if she was so afraid of him? Watch this. When I go to a zoo and I see an animal, I'm not going to open up a cage to let the animal out if I'm afraid of the animal. So my question is, why did Dawn Brooks allow this animal to be free? I don't get it. I don't find where's the philosophy behind that? If you're afraid of something, well, why would you let what you're afraid of loose? What's the philosophy behind that? You tell me. And then she aids him. She knows she sent those pictures up there. First of all, she you know what? Dawn Brooks is a horrible mother. Horrible mother. You got a grandchild by this. You got a grandchild, Erica Brooks, right? Got a baby by your animal son. And then yet you gonna try to aid and help and abet your son and try to suggest that Erica sent those pictures up to the jail. Well, see, they both stupid. Darrell and his mother's dumb. Do you think that the prosecution wasn't listening to every phone call from the jail? Come on. That's what Zachary, come on, Zachary with y'all. He said that there's a jail phone call between Darrell and his mother. She's a criminal as well. She's an accessory. And they need to investigate the grandmother. They need to investigate the grandmother. Because all she did was get on there and try to plug herself, talk about her book. When it was time for, come on, when they needed character witnesses. His grandmother probably ain't got no member, probably only got about 50 members in her church. But she know the whole world is watching her grandson. So, this is the fine time to plug my book so the whole world can see. That whole family is corrupt. That entire family is corrupt, and they need to be investigated. All right, let's get back into this.
Jurisdiction.
Come on here.
No, it had to do with a provision in the federal statutes regarding the gun safe free zone and whether that was constitutional or not.
Make
It
no
was
sense.
a criminal case, but nonetheless, that was one of the major issues.
And let me say this. And let me say that this Jay Prince. Let me tell you, Jay Prince need to be ashamed of himself supporting a murderer. Need to be ashamed of themselves. And just like let me tell y'all something. Just like I said earlier, I told y'all in a previous video, listen, I am a Christian. And if Darrell Brooks is a Christian, I don't want to be one, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to be one. Because that makes me look good makes me look bad as a Christian. And so what does this have to do with Jay Funny? Jay Funny is black, I'm black. He makes me look bad as a black citizen. Because that's a slap in the face. John 3:6. What does John 3:16 say? For God so loved the world. It didn't say a particular color. Yo, you know what? Woo. All right, let me. Come on, come on. Let's
Case.
get back into
So
this.
I don't know if that's the case you were referring or not. And without a
Hold on.
citation, it's hard for me to know. So that's why I'm asking you if you have any other information about that case.
Now watch this. Y'all see this? See that? Here's a prime example. Judge Darrell does not have to do this. She does not. If she didn't care and if she didn't want this to be a fair trial, she would not be wasting time going over citing case law. Because if he was a real attorney, then he would already know case law. So he can't say that Judge Darrell was a racist. He cannot say that they were racist. No, they were not. Come on, watch this. Let me give you an example. He killed white people. If you notice, everybody that was killed was white. And here you have a white judge that's actually like basically taking her time going over case law with you. You have a white judge that's giving you over 2 hours to talk. You have a white judge that's basically bending over backwards for you. And you got a nerve to say that she wasn't fair? No. No, that's listen, he is an embarrassment. Darrell Brooks is an embarrassment. And you know what? I might get in trouble for saying this because I don't believe in inciting violence. I might get in trouble for saying this. But you know what? I hope they let him in GE. Excuse me, GP. I don't know why I'm thinking of GE. Well, I like Bishop GE Patterson. He's a gospel one of the all-time greats. But here's my point. I hope they let him in GP, General Population. And I hope I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna just drop a bomb. I don't care. I don't care because that wasn't right what he did. And there needs to be karma. There needs to be karma. He killed all them white folks. Listen, let me tell you something. I hope they let him in GP. Watch this. I hope they let him in GP with a whole lot of white folks. And I hope them white people, them white guys that's in jail, give him payback for what he did. I hope they do it because that wasn't right. All right, y'all give me your feedback on this. I wanted to give my assessment. So let me hear. Come on, y'all talk back to me. I listen. I love y'all. I love my audience, y'all, and I want to hear what you all have to say.